In this video, we're going to work with the tools of the repeat toolbar. So the repeat toolbar is the one that's mostly yellow. We're just going to go through almost every tool in chronological order and work with the file. So the file that I've loaded up is only 2 colors, but as you can see, the palette shows many more colors. So just a reminder to right-click on that space with no name and compress your palette before working. That way you realize that you're only working with 2 colors. The next thing I want to talk about is this repeat. It is a repeat unit happening over and over and over again, but it has a beginning, and that beginning is called the origin. Where the origin is hard to see, but if I go to the display toolbar, which I'll bring down as well, if I use the display toolbar, the second tool on here is called the show repeat boundaries, and that allows me to see the beginning and the end of the repeat, which should be a little bit surprising. I think we would all assume that it would be around the moths. So I'm showing you this to say that we can change that, and some of the functions on the repeat toolbar require you to change that. So the first one is pretty straightforward. This is a rescale. My size started out 14 by 34, and I can rescale it, up or down, and I can keep the proportions. So I'm not even going to do that. That's a very straightforward tool. You do have to hit process, because if you hit OK, it doesn't actually do anything. The second tool is the one where we can change the origin, and that means the repeat origin. So to change the repeat origin, you actually can go right into the image and click where you want the origin to be. So if I click right here, it means the grid is going to move to right there. And I don't have to mess with the numbers at all. So again, I'm just going to move it around, and the preview shows me what the new origin would result in. Then I hit process. So the change origin tool is very important for a few of the things that we're working with here. The next one would be rotate. Rotating is pretty straightforward as well. You put in the angle, and then you can show it what the back color is, and then you would hit process. So that's similar to Photoshop. I'm not going to go into that, as is flipping and flipping vertically. So I'm going to flip it vertically again. It really doesn't matter that it's mirrored now. It's the next few tools that really require your attention. This is to insert or delete space into your design. So you can insert or delete a strip, using straight lines or your own drawn lines. So those 4 are the ones that we're going to focus on now. I'm just going to start with inserting. So this is basically saying, where do you want to insert space within this image? It's easy enough if you're changing the image properties to add it to the right-hand side in the bottom, but what if I want to insert it in the middle? So I'm going to say I want to put a horizontal strip, and I'm going to try and put it about here. So when I click there, it shows me the position, and then it showed me the size because I accidentally moved my hand and did that. So I'm going to show you again. Starting here, I'm going to click and drag, and then it shows me in the preview the space that I clicked and dragged was 7 inches. I could also say, no, I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to type in that I want 2 inches, and then I'll click on the preview again. So the preview is what updates the information, so you have to make sure you hit on the preview and then hit process. If I do not check horizontal strip, it'll do a vertical insertion. So I'm just going to go ahead and process that. I have inserted space. What color it uses to insert space is whatever color is in the right-hand palette box, so that's really important too. So I'm going to go ahead and remove space now. Similar thing. I'm going to do a horizontal. Oh, actually, I clicked on the wrong tool. I'm sorry. So this is a freehand, a drawn line for an irregular strip that I would be putting in. Let me go to the next one, remove straight. I don't know why they're not next to each other. So I'm going to go into my image again, click and drag the amount of space that I want to get rid of. And you'll notice that it did not get rid of this strip because I do not have horizontal strip activated. So that's definitely something you want to make sure you do. So I'm going to click here, go down, and you can see here that it's going to remove that space. So again, inserting horizontal strip. I'm going to insert some space right here. I'm going to do that again, here to here. Removing it, 2 tools down. Let me go from here to here. Again, I forgot to hit horizontal. Process. Okay, so now that I've done that, I want to talk about inserting the freehand shape. I need an extra color for this, and I usually make it a color that's really obvious. This will do. And what I need to do is use a drawing tool, like a simple drawing tool, smallish size but visible, to draw a line from the beginning of the repeat to the end, meaning one side to the other. So let's say it was not easy to put a straight strip in here. I could draw a line that I want to open up that space with. And this would allow me to say, using this color, the red color, I want you to insert a horizontal strip that is 5 inches. And then I would click on the image and it would show me how to insert that space. Now obviously it's using a different color, so I would have to fill that color with my white or combine the white and the red colors in the palette. But this allows me to move through complicated areas and insert or delete space. So I'm going to hit apply there and show you what I mean about combining the colors. So I could easily just fill it with the bucket here, and then I don't have to look at it anymore. It's usually just a very straightforward strip. So the next thing that I'm going to do is remove that strip. So again, I'm going to draw the line and I'm going to say, let me go in here and say, starting here, I want to remove this space. So I'm going to go to the remove freehand strip and I'm going to say, I think I said 5 inches. And click on here. Horizontal, I always forget to do that. So you'll notice here that it is removing the space above my line. So if I'm removing space, I have to remember to draw it down here so that it removes the space above. So I'm going to undo this, go back, and draw the line down here. And it has to connect or this won't work. Horizontal strip, 5 inches, using that red line. And you'll see how it removed that space, and I hit apply. And then again, I can either fill that or I can combine them in the palette. Last time I filled it, so I'll combine it now by copying white onto red and then using this hot pink tool to merge the equal colors, and that'll combine them into one. So those insert and delete strip tools only work when the area that you're dealing with is inside the origin. So centering your origin makes those tools work. I may have to make another video to explain that a little bit more, so I'm going to keep going right now. The next one is adjust repeat boundaries. So adjusting the repeat boundaries means I want to change the spacing on the edges of the repeat. So again, I'm using this tool. It pulls up what looks like a different grid and it grays out a lot of my tools. There's actually 2 windows open right now. They open on top of each other. So you can see the old one behind there and then the new one, and nothing can happen with the old one until you deal with this tool. So if you don't want to do it, you would just close the window. But I am going to do it and show you that it basically works by me moving these points around And I can use the corner one, or I can use the side or bottom one. You don't have to do it at the same time. And it basically moves the repeat distance closer or further together. So when I make a croquis, I use this to draw the repeat closer together. And then I can click the red X and it'll ask me if I want to keep the changes, or I can click right and reset it or process it. I'm going to go ahead and process it. So this is going to help me explain about the origin of the repeat. So you can see that the origin of the repeat now goes over the motifs. If I wanted to add space here without cutting this motif in half, I would have to change the origin. So I'm going to show you by adding a little bit of a mark there so you remember the area that I'm talking about. Say if I wanted to add space here, it would be easier for me to rearrange the origin, or if I wanted to add space here. So I'm going to change the origin so that that blue dot is not over the edge. So nothing about the repeat scale or anything changed, just the beginning and end of it. And then I'm going to use the line to draw a continuous line here and say, let me insert a horizontal 2 inches. Design of the band. It may be that I have to clean that up before I add it. So let me get rid of that blue marker and draw another one. I may remember the last line before I change the origin, or there might be a pixel of color that it's responding to instead of the line that I'm seeing. So I got rid of it and redrew it. A horizontal strip, 2 inches. The marker line, I never changed the marker line. So the design of the band is what it fills with, and then the marker line is what it uses. And that was my mistake. Okay, so that allowed me to fill that with that space. Again, I could just use the bucket fill to fill that. So this is very powerful for inserting and deleting space into a repeat. Now, if I wanted to delete this space, I could delete a strip, I could draw a line and delete a freehand strip, or I could change the origin so that it's falling through that white area and use the adjust repeat boundaries, which is probably the easiest one to work with. Bringing that there, click right, process. So I'm going to end the video here because that's a lot of information up to this point, which is right here. And the next tool, I'll actually end before the next tool. The next tool would be to crop the repeat. So if you have a really big area around your croquis, you can go ahead and crop it using that tool. And it's pretty straightforward. I can't really use it with this one without really affecting the design. So click on the green arrow, say, you know what, I don't want any of this. I only want this one motif. Okay. And then it's going to crop it down so that it's just that one repeat. Okay, so I'm going to end the video here and then do another video for the second half.